So somebody had asked, what do offerings look like according to the one of the Fae videos I had done earlier on. And offerings are a way to honor spirit, to honor those around us, give some energy to them, and receive things in return. I always do them without expectation. It seems to, in my opinion, it works better to build relationship with whatever beings you're working with, and in the end, you find them doing things for you that are free of charge, might be the way to say it. That they're not having an expectation of you because you continue to offer and have a relationship with them. So they do things for you in return. Offerings can be many things. If you're asking for help, if you need something, you can offer to different gods and goddesses. You can make offerings to Fae. You can make offerings to ETs and other beings as well. And it all depends on who you're working with. If you're, for example, if you're working with Thor or a Norse god, a lot of times beer, whiskey, mead is actually the best one to use, where you pour it in a glass, you put it on an altar or a space in your home that is specific to them, and you're just like, I offer this to the Norse gods or whoever it is. And after 24 hours you get rid of it. If you pour it out, so one of the things you can do with like liquids is pour them outside your home, so that they go into the ground. And then foods, if you have forest, you can put them in the forest or just throw them out. But the idea is to figure out who you're trying to offer to, and that's going to lead the way as to what you offer. And then researching what if it's a spiritual figure, Ganesha, Thor, Mother Mary, an indigenous spirit, or whoever it is, you can usually research what kind of offerings you can give to them that are appropriate to that being, the things that they like. Now, because the question was Fae related, I'll talk specifically about that. The Fae prefer oats, honey, grains, berries. They love blueberries. At least Doug loves blueberries. And fresh foods, fresh fruits, grains, things that are not processed. They also love baked bread, like homemade baked bread, not store-bought, things that you make with your own hands. And what you can do is just leave it in a bowl. And I don't necessarily do a specific offering for them. I call it the Spirits of the House Bowl, where I put an offering in, not every day, but every other day to every 3 days usually. And Doug's like, well, usually every day. And I'm like, yeah, usually every day. But and then I switch it out, clean it, and when I put it down, I just put my hand over it, push some energy in through my right hand, and I say, this is for the spirits of the house, and that's it. And then I let them have at it. I have had to split the bowl before because I had goblins get in my house when I was living in the mountains a few years ago, and they were pushing the other Fae energies out of the way, so I had to give the goblins a specific bowl. I don't have that anymore because I don't have them here, but then Thor has a place, and if there are other beings, like there's a being I work with who actually I'm remembering I have to leave some out. He asked specifically for just a little bit of oats, and you don't have to leave a lot out. You can do whatever they ask for, whatever's appropriate. You just put a little bit in a dish. So like oats, like a spoonful at most. Honey, a teaspoon. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. And just a way to show that you're open, you're receiving, you're communicating with them. And especially when you're not there, they'll pick up on it. They'll pick up on the energy there. And ETs like to see that too, because it shows that you're spiritually aware, loving, caring, willing to work with things you can't see and don't understand necessarily. And that's where it gets interesting, because some of them will actually take it. ETs are physical. If they visit physically, they might actually eat whatever you have there. And when it comes to Fae beings, I've had them physically manifest. And I was in a hotel once, and I always make an offering in a hotel because there are spirits that live in the hotels and pass through. And I put honey at the bottom of a cup, of a red Solo cup. Turned around, walked into the bathroom, looked out, and when I looked out, I saw a big stone-like Fae being that was my size. I'm 6 foot tall, 6'2". He was my size, and had his hand in the cup and was dragging it, and had a stone face, horns, and that sort of thing. He had protected me and my partner of the time. He had protected us through the night from some dark energy that was in the hotel room, or the hotel building. And when that happened, I was like, oh cool, he reached in. But what I didn't expect is when I walked over and actually saw the drag marks from his fingers all around the cup, and it had the imprints, like he had drugged the honey through, and the honey was sliding down in fingerprints. So that was fascinating. And then I've had ETs actually leave offerings to let me know that I was right about them being there. I had one dig through our trash, and I didn't really dig through it, kind of opened it up, saw a bunch of strings, and created a smiley face out of it, a big smiley face with little spindly hands and arms, and then put it on the trash can to let me know that I had caught him. I had caught him raiding the kitchen that morning, and he was hiding, and I went out there, and I was like, I know you're here, but you're hiding. I'm going back to bed because obviously you don't want to talk. And when I woke up later, I went out, and there was this little spindly smiley face on the trash can. So if you leave offerings, you're building a relationship with spirits, and not necessarily just energetic spirits or different planes of consciousness, but also physical beings. And it's just a magical way to show thanks and appreciation. And I'm also supposed to mention flowers. I don't offer flowers regardless of who it's for. I don't cut flowers. That's some people are like, ooh, that's, what's up with that? Flowers are, first of all, they're the reproductive organs of plants. And second, if you can see the Fae, you will start to realize that flowers are actually Fae energies a lot of times, and have their own spirit to them. So if you've seen Spiderwick Chronicles or other movies like it, you'll often see pixie-like beings with flowers on their heads, and in that, those are very real energies, and they live in the flowers. So cutting them is akin to killing them. And if you're making offerings to Fae, nature, spirit specific entities, that's not a good thing to do. I know some spiritualities and some beings do like the offering of flowers, but it's just something I find another way. I'm like, I'll use honey, I'll use oats, I'll find a different way to honor you. So if you have any other questions, let me know. Hopefully that answers the question on offerings. And just let me know if anything else comes up. Thank you for listening.